Woo! Bed wall reveal. Okay, let me get my coffee. So yeah, um, welcome to a new video. Um, I love coffee. So I think I'm gonna call these type of videos like self-reflection stuff, pretty much. And yeah, that's what I'm doing here while sitting on my bed and having a cup of coffee. Okay, so it's the day after Valentine's Day, and I know that majority of us probably were like crying, feeling sad and mopey. Well, here's the thing. Valentine's Day is very much a fake holiday. Now, I say that because like Valentine's Day initially wasn't about love or romance. Okay, let me just look this up. Valentine's Day initially had to do with a Roman emperor that imprisoned Valentine for his insolence and later beheaded him on February 14th for refusing to forsake his faith, thus making him a saint for his martyrdom. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, but I'm just reading off anyway. A legend surrounding a different or the same Valentine weaves a love story between Valentine and his jailer's blind daughter, Julia. Having been imprisoned for helping persecuted Christians, the legend says that Valentine prayed together with Julia and God restored the girl's sight. On the night before he was executed, he wrote a note to Julia. He signed Love from your Valentine. He then gained a reputation as the patron saint of lovers. So, yeah, I just quickly looked it up. Valentine's Day. Tragic history, basically. This video isn't about the history, but I do think it has to do with how, like, we just like over romanticize things. And I'm kind of one of those people because I, of course, want to fall in love and all that, blah, 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 all that. Anyways, why the hell do we dedicate a day? We just like dedicate a day to like loving people and loving our partners for one day. And it's just like, it's just so surface level in that sense to me because like, oh, I love you, here's gifts, here's hugs, here's kisses. And I'm just like, I just thought the other day, doesn't this technically mean romance is dead? I mean, I don't want to sound like those types of people that like preach, oh, romance is too good for me, blah blah blah. I mean, nothing's wrong with having a partner and all that, and nothing's wrong with being single. I'm single at the moment, so, and I'm trying to pull through being single because it's hard to like really appreciate yourself. So that brings me to my point, my next point I want to talk about here. It's that the whole entire concept of Valentine's Day to me from a very out of perspective is that it isn't about appreciating your partner or appreciating your loved ones necessarily because like they are always like selling stuff from stores and all that, and people are always buying gifts and talking about getting them Valentine's Day gifts. It's just that it's kind of ridiculous to me, like, because like that's all it basically is to me is that Valentine's Day is just buying people you love gifts and everything else. You know, that's just all it really feels to me. Okay, I'm gonna sound really, really. I'm probably gonna sound kind of sad for this, but I feel like Valentine's Day, our concept of it, our romanticization, our ideal of it, brims down to the fact that no one cares about each other. Like, nobody goddamn fucking cares. And yeah, it makes me rip my hair out whenever I feel like nobody just gives a shit. I'm not just talking about romance. I'm talking about like the way we talk to each other, the way we treat each treat each other when we're close to someone, is that it's just you feel like they care. You feel like they care, but like you don't know. You don't es- exactly know if they like care for you in the way you probably care for them. And like that's how a relationship is supposed to work, is that you're not supposed to just love each other. You're supposed to like care for each other. You're supposed to hear every word of each other. You're supposed to like be close in contact. And here's the thing. As I mentioned in my last video when I was talking and all that, I don't really have a supportive family. And my parents, whenever they spoil us, it's obviously just for their benefit, not because they actually care about me or my brothers, just to be vulnerable there for a second. So like, and I think it applies to like majority of relationships. And I'm particularly probably talking about like teenage high school relationships. I only like have dated once in my life, which was like in my junior year of high school, and that, so I'm way past that now. I'm over it. But I thought about my first relationship a little bit, and I basically did all the work while I was in that relationship, while my ex just bought me stuff and didn't really have a care for my problems, because like he was always the one trauma dumping me. So I'm gonna just say that. It's just my observation of relationships in general, because like even my friends have had relationship problems, and I'm not gonna name specifically any of my friends because like I feel like when you're a teenager, your relationships are gonna feel very one-sided, and it just pisses me off that when it comes to Valentine's Day, that's a day where like, oh wow, I'll buy you stuff, and you're like, it's just like my primate my primate issue when questioning if I wanted to be in a relationship again is wondering whether or not the person cares about me. And I know that's really fucking difficult for anyone in general, is whether knowing or not anyone cares, like deep down inside, like deep down in the heart or in the mind and the soul, just like someone, you should be able to know someone, and there should be like no level to what you can say to each other, or how you communicate to each other. There should be no level of that. Also, say hi to my doggo. Anyways, I was saying, it like sickens me that Valentine's Day, they're selling all this bullshit for you to get your partner. I mean, you don't have to buy someone things, but I feel like that's what Valentine's Day mainly is just gift giving. It's not about substance, it's not about subtlety, but like here's the thing. In general, you should you should have substance to your relationships. You should be vulnerable. You should tell each other things you don't want to hear or things you probably need to hear. That's the point of being in a relationship with anyone, your friends, and all that. And Valentine's Day, just like how I felt like crap for it yesterday, made me realize that I haven't really been like that to my real life friends, my very closest friends. I I admitted something really vulnerable to them, that, I'm afraid of basically losing people. And I know it takes guts to say stuff to people that you're probably afraid that'll damage your relationships, but I feel like in opposition to that, it doesn't help that Valentine's Day really brings that kind of surface level to relationships. And I'm not saying that um giving people things doesn't mean they don't care. I'm just saying that there should be more to it than just that. It's just like why do we make it seem that love for anyone is bought? It like why does it have to be bought? Why does it have to be owned to something? It shouldn't be a one-way street. It shouldn't be a two-way street. It should just be authentic. It should be vulnerable and true. And the it's we see that a lot about relationships, that communication is important, and it is, but communication isn't the only part of it. There's also the work of understanding other people's feelings, understanding yourself, how you may be flawed, understanding how a person may be flawed, because no one's perfect. And I know that not I know that is kind of an old saying that nobody's perfect and all that. But in terms of your relationships with others, I think that really applies in various different ways. Because if you want to prove you care for someone, that you love someone, you shouldn't just be buying them things and then giving them unwanted affection. You should also talk, you should also communicate, you should also just be there for them, support them even when it's hard. I mean, I've had a lot of fake friends in the past that where I felt like I was mainly the one caring for them, and in the end it turns out they didn't care for me, because like everyone from my childhood, as soon as we entered high school, they all stopped talking to me. They all literally just stopped talking to me. Hell, there's like there's like an old friend of mine that lives in my neighborhood. She like lives like a block down or something like that. The last time I talked to her, she gave me a very fake apology. you know, half-assed apology. And it hurts. It still hurts cuz like you realize that, they don't truly care for you. And that's why I think it's important that we normalize these kinds of vulnerabilities. We tell people like everything. And I think that Valentine's Day should at least kind of acknowledge that kind of thing, if it's a day about love, supposedly. I mean, it's not just Valentine's Day, but it goes in general. It just goes overall for your relationships and friendships for people. There's a quote from a song called Caught in the Storm. When you love someone, you find a way to stay. Yeah, and that's really true. I just thought of it now, and I guess it's my way of wrapping up this video. If you truly care for someone, like deep down inside, and you just want to say some things to them, say it. If you want to tell them things, tell it to them. And if you don't feel seen or don't feel heard, let them know that. Let them really know that. Just find a way to stay close, find a way to meet them eye to eye. Because I think that's what love is really about, is just looking someone in the eye. I took off my glasses because I also have another point. They say eyes are the window to the soul. And I think that while it's pretty much metaphorical, it's also quite literal because like looking at something or someone in the eye, you just be speak your truth. That's all you have to do.